Hello and welcome you crazy people, my name is Jay and the new Lord of the Rings MMO that was being made in part by Amazon Game Studios has unfortunately been cancelled. That's been reported by Bloomberg today and yeah, it's been cancelled. So we'll talk about why as I show you the source. It's always worth seeing the source. So basically Amazon Game Studios, in partnership with, and apologies if I'm saying this wrong, Leyu Technologies, were making a Lord of the Rings MMO. However, the Leyu Technologies have been bought by Tencent. You might recognise them from like Lord of the Rings, from League of Legends. They own like stakes in quite a few companies. I think they own a stake in Blizzard, I think maybe at this point, but whatever it is, they own quite a lot of stakes in gaming companies. Another Chinese company, as was Leyu. Now, because of that, it seems that Amazon Game Studios and Tencent haven't been able to maybe agree the future of the game. I would guess that they probably saw it as a conflict of interest rather than a partnership that they wanted to continue with. Essentially, that means that the game is being cancelled. The Amazon team, the team that was working on it at Amazon, they've been moved to other IPs or other projects. I like the fact that they say projects because whilst there's a few small Amazon games, the big one is obviously New World. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the staff were already working on New World as that like heads towards crunch. But yeah, it is what it is. It sort of like makes sense that if you have a competitor by the company you were working with, that you wouldn't be able to continue that relationship. It's sort of a shame because there have been partnerships in the past, but in this case they obviously feel that they cannot work together and do this now. Unfortunately, let's consider what this means. Well, the people, I'm not sure who actually made the current older version of Lord of the Rings. They might be a little bit happy that the people who have that MMO, the rights to that MMO, they'll be like, haha, we are not being competed with just yet. Obviously, Amazon are doing a TV series, so whilst I believe the MMO was not necessarily planned to be in conjunction or related to the TV series, it would have, if the IP is doing well, Amazon would have been clutching all of the cash and reeling it in. Now, does this mean, could they be working on a different MMO? Possibly. Apparently, I think that game had been in production for quite a while, so I wonder if the team from Amazon could maybe make something else with what they've either learned or what they've got. I suspect though that anything that was like a merger between those two companies, probably neither of them will have sole access rights to, therefore it might have to be all from scratch. Saying that, I said Amazon do have New World, which is scheduled for, I think it's scheduled for August this year. It's had delays before, and quite a few people are sort of expecting another delay without necessarily the evidence or anything to say. So this is probably good news for New World, as I suspect some of the staff will be moving to New World. But yeah, we don't have any indication of what is going on behind the scenes. It is obviously unfortunate that a new MMO is cancelled. There's no other way of looking at it if you're interested in MMOs than hearing that a big one by a big company with a big IP being cancelled. Always a little bit of a shame. It would have been, I can already see it now. The fun of starting up a new MMO, always great, and especially like with Lord of the Rings IP, could have been fantastic. So I think it's a deep shame that we're not going to get that. Will this put Amazon off maybe either working with other companies? I suspect possibly so, and might it put them off big IPs? I don't think Amazon have any ties to that many other IPs really, so we'll have to wait and see the way that Amazon go with this one. They might not make MMOs. Quite frankly, they've had quite a tumultuous season of gaming news. Like there was an article a couple of months back, where people were saying that they've not, they're unsuccessful at making games, and the evidence speaks for itself. Quite a few projects are getting cancelled. Nothing has really materialized of any great quality. New World is sort of like, I think New World is really going to be what Amazon Game Studios really hinge on. If it's good or it's good enough, then and they make enough money from it, Amazon might really delve into it. Otherwise, they might just like pull out and maybe either buy companies or just not get involved. So it's going to be really interesting. I hope that there's other big MMOs in the works. This one was one that we all knew was happening, or like it was out there. The news of it was happening. everything else is sort of like rumor at best. Generally, because MMOs take so long, you don't want to announce it like 8 years before it comes out. So a lot of the information is always like hush hush. It's just unfortunate that this one was out early. They've been working on it, cancelled. It's almost like I wish we never even knew about it. But hopefully Amazon's gonna do something else that's just as big and just as interesting, and hopefully it's sort of good news for New World, but it may not be. We'll have to wait and see. So that's the news. I think it's just disappointing, isn't it? There's no, it's very hard to put a good spin on that to say, hey, yeah, great news. But it is what it is. Like the video, subscribe if you're interested in MMO news and stuff like that. Have a most beautiful day. Goodbye.